Let me ask you guys a quick question here, okay? And we're gonna go into some setups, some leg attacks, and that kind of stuff. Why do you shoot in wrestling? To get points. To get points. Okay? That's exactly right. All right. So all my setups, everything that's happening, if I'm going to make a committed offensive attack or take a shot, all right, I'm taking a shot to score. Right. So there's a purpose on it. There's a reason that we're doing it. All right. So what I want to try to encourage us to do as we're moving into understanding how to get good setups and good leg attacks is understanding a little concept that we call shot selection. You guys ever heard that before in wrestling? Shot selection? What does that mean?
Take the right shot. Like if it's not there, don't take it.
Yeah, exactly. Take the right shot. If it's not there, don't take it. So what would a right shot result in? A point. Takedown. Okay, for me. Okay, not for him. For me. Right? So when I take a shot, I need to score. Okay? And it comes down to shot selection. Okay, we'll break this down a little bit more. This is pretty much a broad concept, but I think if we really get this, it will help our setup and our leg attacks and everything we need to do. Okay? First thing we need to do is you need to know who you are as an athlete. Okay? You need to know what you're capable of. You need to know where your strengths are. You need to know where your go-to attacks are. We did our right, left, over, under earlier. Okay? So I need to know which shots work for me and when. Alright? To start getting a setup, we're going to have to make sure when we're moving our opponent that we're moving him on purpose. Okay? Not by accident. Alright? Because sometimes that's what happens. I'm not really thinking he's moving and whatever's happening is just kind of by accident. But what I need to make sure that I'm doing with my hands, every time my hands touch him, no matter what the situation, no matter what the scenario, there's a purpose with it. Okay? So we're hand fighting with a purpose. Head fighting with a purpose. Okay? And usually the purpose is to get him out of position, right? Hand fighting with a purpose. Get him out of position so that I can get to leg attacks. Alright? Hand fight with a purpose. Okay? We already touched on the hand fight, but here's what we're going to talk about for our leg attacks. Okay? And this will get pretty lengthy, so stay with me. But to make sure that I have good shot selection and good leg attacks, I want to sort of break it down like science. How many people in here play baseball? How many people understand baseball? Alright, Twins fans? Okay, so Joe Mauer, alright, Joe Mauer led the league the last 3 years in a very obscure statistic. But he was first in the league all 3 years. He's won 2 batting titles in the last 3 years, so it wasn't batting average. But what do you think he's led the league in for 3 years in a row? No? No? Not yet, no. It's very obscure. It's one you probably don't even know exists for statistics. To keep track of. No?
Most catching the ball.
First pitch is taken. 3 years in a row. He led the league. Okay? Why do you think Joe Mauer waits on the first pitch? See what they have. That's part of it. Right? What's that? He wants to wait for the perfect one. How many times do you see a pitcher throw a pitch at Joe Mauer and just strike and doesn't swing? A lot. Okay? Point is if you break the art of hitting down into a science, Ted Williams, the last guy to bat 400, broke it down into a science. And the strike zone is 7 baseballs across, 7 baseballs high. Okay, so you put 77 baseballs in a strike zone. Right? So Ted Williams broke the strike down zone into 77 little zones. And he knew what he could do with every pitch in every little zone. 77 zones, all the different pitches. Right? Fastball, curveball, whatever. Righty, lefty, all those different sorts of things in the strike zone. He knew what he could do with each pitch in the 77 sections of the strike zone. Okay? Now that's called pitch selection. That's a good eye. Right? He led the league in batting average. He led the league in on-base percentage. He led the league in walks. He led the league in hits. But he knew he had this little section, alright, that he called his happy zone. That if pitches were delivered inside the strike zone in this little happy zone, that he could bat over 430. Okay? There's also a section within the strike zone that if there was a pitch that was delivered in this little section, he knew that he would bat less than 200. So guess what? He didn't swing at those pitches. He knew they were strikes, but he was going to take them because if he swung at those, it's going to be a ground ball, pop up, fly out, whatever. He knew that if he swung at those pitches, he couldn't do anything with it. Alright? But there's this little area called the happy zone that if there's a pitch in there, okay, and we've heard it so many different breakaways, the power zone, power alley, wheelhouse, whatever in baseball, if he swung at those, he knew he could put the ball where he needed to for base hits. Okay, broke down into the science. The same thing is true for wrestling. Okay? Now, it's a little bit harder to measure scientifically because a lot of different things about that guy, a lot of different things about me. But the fact is, we need to find our happy zone, okay, like Ted Williams is, and know percentage-wise what shots we can take that are going to be most effective. Okay? Also know what shots I take that are going to be non-effective. Okay, so guess what? Stay away from those. The ones that you see that are most effective, we're going to take those shots. Alright? Okay? So for me, my offensive attack, and my style is probably different than a lot of people's in here. Okay? My offensive attack, I know that I have a very high percentage of getting to a leg without touching my knee. I just go here. Okay? Right there. Snatch single, very high percentage for me. Very high percentage. So I'm going to try to get that shot off. A low percentage shot for me is this. Okay? That's a low percentage shot for me. Even if I get a setup, he gives me that leg, whatever, that's a low percentage shot for me. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. Even if it's tempting and it looks like candy right there. I'm not good there yet. Alright? Another good high percentage shot for me is one right here, where I can come here to the high crouch. Okay? That's a high percentage shot for me. High percentage. Okay? One that's low percentage to that side, for me, is this shot here. Okay? That's a low percentage shot for me. So if I'm trying to have good shot selection and pick my shots well, I need to know what ones I'm good at and what ones I'm not good at. Alright? Hopefully we can practice the ones we're not good at and get better there. Alright? But in a match isn't always the time to practice. Wrestling is where you practice. So here's how we'll drive it home, and then we'll let you guys figure out what your happy zone is. When I was in Russia in 2007, I wrestled a world champion named Milan Judayev, and this was his stance going out to wrestle. Okay? So, if I'm American, what do I think I should do? If I'm wrestling you like this, freestyle, get a good stance. What are you going to do? Yeah, right? Okay? So I'm like, yeah, thank you. I like that single. I'm good there. So this is what happens. Comes in, he takes a shot, come up to your feet. He did that 3 away. Throws me for 3. Like, oh man, that was great. Okay, so I'm losing 3-0. I lose the first period. Comes back out. Here's Milan Judayev. Except for I didn't shoot because I knew he was going to score. Okay? And then it started being like this. I'm circling away, circling. And then he started doing one of these. Okay? He knew he wanted me to have that leg. And guess what? In my mind, I heard every single youth coach that I had, most of my high school coaches, parents in the stands, yelling shoot, 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 shoot. Right? All day long they yelled shoot. But I had to be the professional. Okay? Like Joe Bauer. I'm an amateur baseball fan. Pitch comes down the middle. He takes it for a strike. I'm like, dude, why didn't you swing at that? It was right down the middle. It's a strike. Okay? Professional baseball player knows what he can do with those pitches. Amateur fan, I'm like, swing at everything. Right in the swing. Okay? Not going to happen. So I had to be a little disciplined. Right? And in baseball they call that play discipline. You've heard that before? Okay? I had to be disciplined. Shot selection. Because I wanted that single so bad. I wanted it so bad. But as soon as I took it, boom, there's a throw, there's points. I scored for him, not for me. When I shoot, I need to score, right? Dan Gable has a quote that is on some posters. I shoot, I score. You shoot, I score. Okay? So, if I'm shooting, I need to score. That's it. Alright? I don't want to shoot and give this guy an opportunity to score. So it's about finding that happy zone, knowing what shots I can take, knowing what ones I can't take. And sometimes it's understanding who I am, and sometimes it's understanding who he is. Okay? So, we don't want to focus on him too much right now, but I really want you guys to take some time, and we'll give you 10 minutes to figure out your happy zone in wrestling. Okay? And there's a lot of things that go into it. Some higher level guys can think about where your hands need to be, where your head needs to be before you attack. Okay? But also just what shots for you are the shots you want to take. Alright? And then as we're going through our setups, it's moving our partner, getting him out of position so that I can get to those leg attacks. Alright? Okay? This is pretty big time philosophy stuff. It might be over a lot of your guys' heads. But when it comes down to it, when you take a shot, you're responsible for what happens. Okay? So when you shoot, you need to score. So you should be taking shots you can score on. Alright? And you guys need to be professionals. You need to understand what's happening in the wrestling game. Just because mom and dad from the stands or your youth wrestling coach yelled, shoot, shoot, shoot. You gotta shoot more, you gotta shoot more. It doesn't mean that you're wrestling better, okay? Because I see guys who swing at baseballs that are down low, like Delvin Young. Swings at every first pitch, okay? Swings all the time. So, dude, just like take a pitch and make throw, right? Okay? That could be ridiculous. He did last year, batted 300, but now he's actually his whole weight. So, you just need to be patient, you need to have good shot selection. Alright? Okay, that's broad and general enough for you guys. We don't have anything specific here we're going to do. You're going to go over about 10 minutes. I want you to find your happy zone. Happy zone in wrestling. Okay? This is a really big deal. This might be difficult, it might be frustrating, but this is really super important when you're on your feet is to know your happy zone. Know where you need to be able to bat 400. Okay? Because you need to make sure you, when you take a shot, you're scoring points. Got it? Okay.